everybody. Thanks for tuning into Border City Rock Talk, where you get great news, great interviews, great interviewees, with sometimes a comedic touch. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and comment below. Today, I have a legend of a lot of Facebook and social media have been talking about if there was supposed to be a five in the big four. You got Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. Everybody is saying this guy's band Testament should have been in there. How you doing, Alex? Alex Skolnick is with us today.
I'm good, Ernest. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I, so I hear that about the big four and the contested status of the big four. I don't really agree with it. I think the big four guys were all doing their thing before Testament was. I was in high school, and all those bands, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer, had at least two records out by that time.
Right.
So by the time Testament came along, I mean, all those bands were on their way. So just out of seniority, they should all be they deserve their status from as the big four.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. Before we talk about the big news with your band, the Alex Skolnick Trio, you've agreed to talk about the medical condition, and you're opening up here for the first time, not about poliosis. Now, I gotta ask you, are you a fan of Tulsi Gabbard's?
I'm not,
And
and
you know,
I was quite. She hasn't always had this hair. At least it hasn't been. It became very obvious in recent years, and I always thought there was something suspicious about her.
yeah,
She just seemed like a plant, especially in the Democratic debate when she was actually running for president. And then
okay.
the fact that she could go from running for U.S. president of the United States as a Democrat to being this hardcore far right Trump supporter,
Mhm.
uh, it just makes me think maybe she was a plant or a spoiler. And then
Oh,
she
okay.
starts doing the hair, and while it looks nice on her, I'll admit that. It's definitely not. She's not somebody I would ever want to be associated with.
I didn't mean to associate you politically, but
Yeah,
it,
that's okay. I mean, there's other people that have it that I relate to more.
yeah.
Um, you know, Rogue. I haven't actually seen any of the X-Men. I'm not a big fan of like the summer blockbuster
Yeah, for sure.
Marvel films, but people tell me, yeah, Rogue.
Really? See,
Um,
I haven't seen it either. I'm in the same category as you. I'm not a really big movie buff, things like that. But I had noticed it on her and a few other people. And then before the interview, I thought, I'm going to ask Alex when I did a bit of research. Actually, I got to give credit to somebody who interviewed you in Europe, Neil Guy or something, 60
oh yeah.
Scales or whatever. It was a great interview. I mean, I learned a lot more about you watching that. But you talked about it, and it's just a pigment. Thing that just came up in life. It's just like a birthmark, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, that's what I've been told. There's a lot of theories about it. One theory is that I may have hit my head as a child. Another theory is that it is a birthmark. There's a few other theories, but there are a few of us that have it. I did meet a relative of mine, a distant cousin on my mother's side, who has it as well.
Wow,
And,
wow. That's
and then there's people that just do it. Like I think Joe Perry, he looks great with it. He never had it before, and I think he had a blonde streak for a while. But then one
oh,
day I noticed, oh, it looks a lot like mine.
well, maybe he's got a crush on you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, it did happen right after I sat in with Steven Tyler sat in with a group I played with called the Trans Siberian Orchestra, this big
Yeah,
holiday
yeah.
rock,
That
and
brings up. Yeah, no, that brings up. I didn't realize you're into ESO for that many years. I'd interviewed Joel and
oh, cool.
Gabby Kunsakova and
I
like
love Greg. Yeah, all they're all great friends.
I liked how you said in the interview with 60 Scales, you said you left the TSO because, there's so much for the audience to look at the lights and stuff, and then the good-looking singer. I knew who you were kind of referring to. So you're in that for like 12 years, 14 years?
Not that long, but
Oh,
nine
okay.
years.
Well, longer than me. So that's a
Uh-huh.
long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And it was, I got a lot out of it. I made some great friends. I'm still friends to this day. Um, the folks you mentioned, even though they came after me,
yeah,
I'm still friends with the original people I toured with, and
yeah,
certainly got a lot of great experience from doing it. Whatever success Testament had, we never headlined arenas. So being part
yeah,
of an act that is the headliner in an arena
yeah.
is a really pretty cool experience. And then playing on an arena stage every night as the headliner does a lot to boost your confidence
Yeah.
and your stage presence.
100%. I mean, the light show is amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
just
and I think when I reunited with Testament, in the mid to late 2000s, I think they were all a bit in shock because I'd always been sort of shy and kind of resistant to um,
spotlight.
performing like a over the top,
Yeah,
and I was just more about the sound and the
yeah,
artistry. But when you play arenas, especially if you're part of this theatrical show, yeah, you have to learn how to go into this zone
yeah.
where the person all the way at the back of the arena is entertained as much as those in the first few rows, and it
Mhm.
involves projecting and really tapping into the performance element. So when I returned to Testament, I certainly brought some of that. By then, I was an arena performer, and I think they probably said, "What happened to him?"
Yeah, I'm asking you for pointers. So let's talk about Prove You're Not a Robot, which is a great title, by the way. I see it more and more on social media. Every time I log into my own email account. There we go. It's right there. And kids, the link will be down below for you to check out the album and buy it on all the major social media or music platforms. Great album. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I'm not a big jazz fan until kind of now, and I'm going to be totally honest with you.
Hmm.
I played guitar growing up for a long time, and I always thought of jazz as more of a technique and not as melodic, right? And so I'm taking this interview, Melissa asked me, and I said, well, yeah, Alex is a great guitarist. I'm into, hard rock and that sort of thing. So I'm listening to the album, and all I've really known of jazz would be like Brian Setzer. I
Right.
love Brian, right? And things like that. So it had some
He's more
melodic
rockabilly. That's what
rockabilly.
I
Yeah,
would
but
call
that's
him.
as close as I would come to knowing, unless I was watching Seinfeld. You remember the
Yeah.
John Germain episode? He's playing the
Yes.
saxophone.
Yeah. So
Ready?
that's classic. Yeah. And he was
So,
that was the band was pretty good too. They sounded like a real band.
well,
Um,
actually, I did some homework before I started this, and what did I find out about that? I found out, anyways, I was wondering what music were they playing during the intro, and
uh,
it's something like the Jackson. Okay, let me just give me a second. I'm going to find it here.
sure.
It's
Yeah.
scientific, and
Yeah.
you're
Take
going
your
to
time.
know because you're into jazz, right? So
Yeah.
John Germain, and then I hit Seinfeld, um, music, and somebody's going to comment, "What are you doing? You're interviewing this guy. Don't do that." No, this is what I do. I'm out of the. I'm out of the. Okay, so music was composed by Jonathan Wolfe. Do you know that musician?
Yeah. Well, he did the theme for Seinfeld,
Oh, no,
if I'm
okay,
not
wait.
mistaken.
Yeah, is a fictional. John Germain is a fictional jazz saxophonist character from TV show Seinfeld, and the associated music that was played during that episode was composed by him. And then it
Yeah.
said the three cuts that you hear during the interview, even featuring Bob Shepard, saxophonist, was John Germain Jazz 1, 2, and 3. So I was listening to that, and it was kind of interesting when I was listening to the album. The first cut, Prove You're Not a Robot, kind of started off like that, and immediately I'm hooked, right? Because I'm a big Seinfeld nerd.
Uh huh.
But I'm listening through the other songs. I mean, great job on Breakdown.
Thank
You
you. Thank you.
definitely hear the jazz in it, but you know the song.
Yeah,
Why did
absolutely.
you choose to cover that one or partially cover it? Because I think there's a couple other
Uh,
songs in there.
there's one other cover song on there,
Yeah.
but when I started doing this music, yeah, I was very honest about where I was and as a musician, and I didn't feel ready to do an album of original composition. I felt like I'm still learning as a composer. Even some of my favorite artists aren't necessarily composers. Jeff Beck
Hmm.
didn't compose the songs he's most associated with for the most
Right.
part.
Hmm.
Um, Beck's Bolero, he didn't compose that. Goodbye Pork Pie Hat was Charles Mingus.
Hmm.
Narda Michael Walden wrote a lot of so. Yeah, I was fine with that. So when I did the debut album with the trio back in the 2000s, it
Hmm.
was mostly covers, and I thought it would be interesting to do songs that you never hear done on jazz guitar,
Right.
which include like the Scorpions, Kiss,
Hmm.
Ozzy, Aerosmith, and folks like that. Now it's a little less unheard of. Yeah, I could point to you other examples. Maybe not uh, the Scorpions, but I know a few other artists that have taken on Aerosmith and others. But yeah, that's mostly what we did for the first few albums, and at a certain point, I felt more confident in my abilities as a composer and
Hmm.
started putting in more original compositions. The albums that have come out in the last 10 years are all original compositions. And I just really wanted to establish us as a band that does originals as well,
Hmm. Yeah.
and have the originals be as exciting and fun to play for us and as exciting for the audience uh, as those first covers that we did. So fast forward to Prove You're Not a Robot,
Hmm.
I felt ready to bring back a cover.
Yeah, no,
And
it's a great cover, and I'm going to put a
thank
link
you.
below for you guys to listen to. And then,
Yeah, the reason I chose that one is
yeah,
we're all big Tom Petty fans. You don't
yeah,
usually hear him covered unless it's a bar band,
right, yeah, true
and
enough.
I just think his material is just ripe for interpretation. What we're doing,
Yeah,
the
and you do a great
melodies are
job.
beautiful. And that song particularly has a beautiful melody.
Yeah.
We um, jammed on it live on stage right after we'd heard he passed away. We were playing. We had a
Okay.
gig the same day it was announced that he
Yeah.
passed away. So all we knew was like the main riff, and I knew those guitar licks in the
Yeah.
beginning, and we played kind of like it's played.
Yeah.
But when we needed a tune, I thought, okay, why don't we revisit it? But let's change it around and let's give it some more flavor. Like how would Dave Brubeck or McCoy Tyner or great how would a great jazz piano player approach
Right.
that song? So I tried to approach it that way, but on guitar.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's a great song. And then when I was talking earlier about like I don't know what I'm talking about with jazz, right? But I'm kind of in there now. I gotta give you thanks for this album. Armando's Mood,
I'm glad.
and then the one that really brought it home for me, Parallel Universe. To me, I couldn't believe how you were so able to incorporate things like I think harmonics and then melody into that song and still keep it as like this is jazz. Like I'm not, I can tell jazz, but then the solo and you had distortion in there, which I didn't think jazz were allowed to have distortion. So,
Sure
and
you
it
are.
even has a flavor of your old teacher Joe in there. Has anybody
Yeah.
told you
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I have heard that, and that's fine. I think I also got to the point. I feel like I've done enough music at this point that sounds like jazz guitar is supposed to sound,
Yeah.
that I'm not afraid to sneak in other elements like that solo. And this particular tune, it's interesting. Yeah, it doesn't really have. It's not centered around a main melody like a lot of other songs are. It's really more of a mood and centered
Yeah,
around chords.
yeah.
And it's a little more inspired by a guitarist named Alan Holdsworth.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he's great. He inspired a lot of heavy rock players too. He was
Right.
Eddie Van Halen's favorite guitar player,
Oh, I didn't
and
know.
and he's the one guitarist that I can really hear that influence in Van Halen. Otherwise, Van Halen just sounded so original, like he was from
Yeah.
Mars or something. So on, yeah, there's definitely an Alan Holdsworth influence there, and I dedicated the song to David Crosby, another great artist who had passed away.
Mhm.
And the beginning of it, the mood was inspired by Crosby, Stills, and Nash, even
Right.
though
Right.
it's on guitar. So, yeah, that was exploring some different um, moods and some different themes. And the other song you mentioned, Armando's Mood,
Yeah.
that's a mashup of a tune by Yes that was originally done
That's
just
right.
on acoustic guitar, but it also pays tribute to another great musician we lost. We've lost so many great musicians; it's just
Right.
staggering to think about. But Chick Corea, and Chick Corea is one of the most important piano players of all
Right.
time,
Yeah.
and his he has a song called Armando's Rumba, which the original it's a very up tempo acoustic jazz tune with Latin flavor. And here we do it slow and we change the meter so it's a
Mhm.
little bit um, it's in 11, which is an unusual time signature. But somehow at that tempo it worked as a mashup with the tune by Steve Howe, which is called Mood for a
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah, no, it's a great song. Before I forget, there's things that sometimes come up during an interview. I usually
Uh-huh.
ask this at the end. 99% of my subscribers are American for some reason. I'm
Cool.
Canadian. I live on the border. But I always ask favorite Canadian band or musician. Now I'm going to ask you this, and I think I know the answer. You must have heard of Rick Emmett.
Oh,
And he
absolutely.
is not only big with Triumph, but he went, and actually, I went to the same college that he taught at, Humber College near Toronto. He went and he does a lot of jazz and different shows. Have you ever, looked at any of his work
Yeah, yeah, he's a
aside from Triumph?
wonderful player. I remember hearing him do music that sounded jazzy, and it was before I'd really gotten into jazz. I think I was too young to appreciate it
Yeah,
because he's been at it for a long time.
yeah.
But I remember being inspired. Well, there's a guy that really came from a rock band
Hmm.
and really expanded and added this whole flavor to it.
Yeah, he's a unique guy. He was in Triumph, and then he decided he wanted to make money for life, so he went to school or went back and started teaching. No, I'm kidding. He didn't do money after Triumph. So, I understand you're still well. Testament's talking about a new album in the new year, possibly. Have you guys started writing yet?
Oh, you're talking about the next record, not the one that just came out, because
No, the
we
next one.
we literally just released an album last month.
Yeah, no, I was just reading something, and I thought that in 2026 there was
Oh
maybe
yeah,
some writing.
we're planning to get a jump start on it,
Yeah,
but no, I think we need. Yeah, we just got off the road. We just got out
from Europe. Yeah.
ready. I think we need a little bit of time. I predict that it'll happen probably in the spring or so, maybe
Wow. I
sooner.
mean, you'd be touring to support two albums. It's gonna be
That's correct.
insane.
Oh, I am. I mean, I just literally just got back from a European tour to support the heavy metal record about a week and a half ago, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
taking off and playing with my trio in about 4 days. So,
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm
where does
going.
it
There's going to be
start?
a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it shows how diverse and ambidextrous you are. Now, the three guys, we got you're in the band, and it's funny, there's Matt and there's Nate. And here's the story. I tell you, when I was talking to Melissa, I said, can you get all three of them in the interview? Because I see Nathan Peck, and I'm hearing Firehouse, Nate Peck, the new singer that replaced CJ. I'm thinking they're the same guy, right? So I said, yeah, get Nate on too, because I'll talk about Firehouse. And so then I'm doing some looking. I'm like, no, it's Nathan Peck, Ernest. It's not Nate.
Not the same Nathan Peck. Yeah. No.
No. So tell me about those other two cats in the band and how long have they been with you, or if they've been with you since the beginning?
Yeah. They've been with me a little over 20 years, which is amazing.
Wow. Okay, so it was the original band, the three of you.
The original, yeah. Well, we when we did the first recording, we had a different bass player,
Okay.
um, named John Graham Davis, who's also terrific, and he's doing very well. His main gig these days is as a recording engineer,
Oh
but
wow.
he's recording some great jazz artists like John Patitucci and Brad Meldau, and he's actually up for a couple Grammys. But
Wow.
he really helped get us off the ground in the beginning. And
Hmm.
then Nate was a friend of Matt's. They both grew up in the Pittsburgh area, and Nate, it fit like a glove. And it's hard to believe we've been at it so long. The guys would have loved to be here. They have very busy schedules as well.
For
They
sure.
play different groups, so they're sorry
That's
they
okay.
had to miss it.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely put well, I'll throw some images in of the guys when I edit this.
Cool.
So I understand you're doing some podcast work. Talk about that, and I think you said something else you were doing. That
Film score
project. Film
for
score. Okay. Yeah, tell us about that.
okay, so well, the podcast is called Moods and Modes. I've had folks on ranging from Pat Metheny to Peter
Oh,
Frampton to Michael League from Snarky Puppy. So
yeah.
it tends to focus more on instrumental folks, mostly guitar and bass. But I had Antonio Sanchez, who's an amazing drummer, and I need to get. It's gonna come back together, but it sort of fell off because I was releasing two albums at almost the
So
same
busy.
time, plus a movie score, which is the first one I've done. So let me tell you about that.
Yeah.
The film's called Traction Park Massacre. It's about an amusement park based on a real theme park called Action Park that was
Okay.
in New Jersey and had a reputation for being dangerous and out of control. So
Hmm.
the horror, this is like a black comedy horror film. It's loosely based on Action Park, but it kind of pays tribute to 80s slasher films and also
Oh, okay.
biker films,
Yeah.
and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's very well done.
Hmm.
Um, it looks like a classic slasher film. The special effects are it's the same quality, but it's also got humor and some cool references. It's a really fun movie. And the directors are Adam Dubin and Doug Diamanda. Adam Dubin is connected to the music world. He did videos for Metallica. He did Nothing Else
Oh,
Matters. He's also currently with them. Again, he helps document them. He did a year and a half in the life of Metallica.
hmm.
He also did music videos by Danzig, some of the most famous Beastie Boys videos, like "No Sleep Till Brooklyn" and
Yeah,
"Fight for Your."
yeah.
So this is I believe it's his first feature film. Oh, he's done documentaries before. He did a documentary called "Murder in the Front Row," which was about the Bay Area thrash metal scene. That's how
Yeah.
we got to know each other. And the film is great. They approached me to do the music for it. They knew I do a lot of different types of music, um, whether it's jazzy or metal or all points in between. And it actually relates to the podcast in a way because when I do the podcast, I create music for it, not
Hmm.
just on guitar but also on bass, piano, synthesizer, and a lot of music that doesn't really fit either category that I'm more known for, which is
Right.
jazz guitar and heavy metal. So it was a great experience. The film just debuted at Comic Con. It got a great reception,
Okay.
and I'm excited. I'm open to doing more films.
And where do you
We'll
get the
see.
time?
I'm so
Like,
busy.
I was
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
don't.
say,
That's the problem. I don't really have the time. So
well,
that's
we
the biggest
appreciate you
problem.
taking the time for us today. Now,
I have time for you, of course. Yeah,
are you starting to write your next book, or have you started to put any
haven't
notes?
started. I want to. I have not
It's
started.
on the back burner.
Yeah, I'm planning on it, but that's another thing. It's just, yeah, you can only do the music is the priority. So
Right.
doing doing music, doing albums that I and being proud of my playing on and composing on the albums is priority. And it's just it's not that easy. I've been doing it a long time.
Hmm.
People say I'm a natural, which is great to hear. It's very flattering, but I feel like I have to work very hard at it, and
You're talking
it's
about the
easy to
writing
go.
process?
Well, I'm talking about just doing music and
Or
playing
just like
guitar at the level
juggling
that
everything?
yeah, playing guitar at a level that I'm proud of, and I think that
Yeah.
lives up to how I play. And also, guitar players are the, the state of guitar playing has just gotten better. So you have guitar players these days that are like created in a lab. They're
Well,
so
I mean,
good.
when I started playing guitar, like the action on a good acoustic was like that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then now it's like you just breathe on it and there's a note because the action
Yes.
is so close to the
That's
neck.
true. So I feel like if I were to start writing a book, um, and I should mention I did write a book actually, but it's
Yeah,
a
your first one.
method. Well, I wrote that, but like 10 years ago. But even since then, I've written a method book,
Oh,
uh, which is due to come out, published by Hal Leonard, and that's it's a music, a method book basically. I'm really focusing on jazz rock, and it's just got a lot of musical examples and just my approach to music and how I
okay.
from learning to how I went about learning jazz as a rock player. So I did write that. We're just waiting for that to come out. It was turned in about a year and a half ago. Um,
Is there any
but
tab lessons in it? Remember
yeah, it'll have
tab?
tab. Yeah, it'll
Oh,
have
right
video
on.
examples. So I did do that. I feel like yeah, just now is not the time to start writing a prose book because
Yeah.
if I do, it's going to be such a rabbit hole, and it's going to take me away from
Well, you're
composing
touring now,
music.
and
Which yeah, and I'm touring, and yeah, there's just a lot of other stuff going on right now. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it'll definitely happen. Maybe I'll start next year.
so just tell the viewers right now where to go to check out what you're doing, your website and YouTube channels.
Okay, my website is alexskolnick.com. My Instagram handle is at Alex Skolnick. I grabbed it before anybody else could.
Nice. Yeah, you get a
um,
lot of fans that would be doing that, right?
yeah. Yeah. My threads and uh, X, formerly Twitter, also at Alex Skolnick.
Okay.
Um, the Alex Skolnick Trio has its own Instagram page. And if you go to Facebook, it's Alex Skolnick official fan page.
Okay. And you do
And
have a YouTube channel as well, and that's where the
I
album
have a
is?
YouTube channel. Somebody did get that, unfortunately, but the real Alex Skolnick is my YouTube channel.
Oh, cool. Because maybe I saw the other one because I think it had 14 subscribers. I'm like, no, this can't be
Yeah,
right. Well, I clicked
probably. Yeah,
subscribe to help you out. I clicked on the wrong one. So the real Alex Skolnick.
yeah.
Okay, so what's the opposite of unsubscribe before I let you go?
Oh, is that a rhetorical question?
Yeah,
The the opposite of unsubscribe?
yeah, yeah.
Subscribe.
Everybody do as Alex says and subscribe to the channel or he's going to kick your ass. That's a
That's right.
promise. Thanks a lot for your time, Alex. It's been great chatting with you. I'll put
Likewise,
all the
Ernest.
links below
Thank you.
for you. And actually, I didn't even ask you that, but we just talked about Rick. Do you have a favorite Canadian band or artist besides Rick or Rush? Everybody says
Yeah, I
Rush.
can't. I knew you were going to say you can't say Rush.
I mean, I love Rush, but everybody says it's like they think we only have one band in Canada.
Yeah, yeah. No, you have a bunch. I'm gonna say this is maybe a surprise. Oscar Peterson.
Oh, somebody else told me that, and that was a year ago or two, and I forget who I'd interviewed, and they said that. So that is great. I mean, the great, unique answer. not just a cliche. I'll just throw in a name. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Alex, and everybody subscribe to the channel and take care, man.
Okay, man. Thanks, Ernest.